Hi there. Now today we will talk about this fractions type problem sums in preparation for the PSLE examinations. So let's read the question. Trisha collects stamps as her hobby. 1/7 of the stamps are from Australia. 1/4 of the stamps are from China, and the rest are from Singapore and Malaysia. She has an equal number of stamps from Singapore and Malaysia. If Trisha has 799 Malaysian stamps, how many stamps are from Australia? First question. Second question. Auntie May gave Trisha some Australian stamps. As a result, 7 out of 19 of Trisha's stamps are now from Australia. How many stamps did Auntie May give Trisha? So let's approach this by using our HMC. Let's read the question once more. Trisha collects stamps as her hobby. 1/7 of the stamps are from Australia. Okay, 1/4 of the stamps are from China, and the rest are made up of Singapore and Malaysian stamps. She has an equal number of Singapore and Malaysia stamps. If Trisha has 799 Malaysian stamps, how many stamps are from Australia? First question. Second question. Auntie May gave Trisha some Australian stamps. As a result, 7 out of 19 of Trisha's stamps are from Australia. How many stamps did Auntie May give Trisha? So as you can clearly see, a lot of fractions involved in this question. And the key point to note is this. There are 4 countries involved. Australia has 1/7. China has 1/4. The rest are Singaporean and Malaysian stamps. And another key point to realize is that the Singapore and the Malaysian stamps, they are equal in number. Okay, so for example, if Trisha has 799 Malaysian stamps, she would also have 799 Singapore stamps as well. Alright, so let's approach this question A. So for the Australian stamps, she has 1/7 of those. For China stamps, she has 1/4 of those, and the rest, which is made up of Singapore and Malaysia, that will be the remaining stamps, which is 1 minus away 1/7 minus away 1/4. Now the way to approach this question is to make denominators of this fraction the same. Now why do I do that? Because I want to find what is the total number of units of stamps that I have, and from there I can actually tell how many units belongs to Australia, how many units belongs to China, and how many units are for both Singapore and Malaysia. So let's make denominators the same first. 7 and 4, the lowest common multiple to make denominator the same is 28. So times 4 times 4, I get 4/28 here. And times 7 for China, I get 7 out of 28. So for the Singapore and Malaysia one, it makes up the rest. So basically 1 minus 4/28 minus 7/28, and I'm left with 17/28 for Singapore and Malaysia, which tells us that the Singapore and Malaysian stamps make up 17 units in total. Okay, so if I were to draw a very simple model to explain this point, okay, the entire model here, if this is 17 units, if I cut this into half, 1 is for Singapore, 1 is for Malaysia. Okay, and on top of that, if I were to give Malaysia 799 stamps, as in this question, 799, Singapore will also have 799 stamps. Okay, same. Why is that so? Because they have mentioned that Singapore and Malaysian stamps are equal in number. Okay, which means that I can find 17 units of stamps, which is going to be 799 multiplied by 2, and that gives us a value of 1598 stamps. Okay, I need to find how many stamps are from Australia, right? Australia is 4 units, so let's find 1 unit first. 1598 divided by 17. Okay, that should give us a value of 94. Let's check that. Okay, so this is 94 stamps, and I need to find Australian stamps, which is 4 units, which is 94 multiplied by 4. That gives me an answer of 376 stamps for the Australian stamps. Alright, so 376 is the answer for part A. Okay, so let's move on to part B. If Auntie May gave Trisha some Australian stamps, as a result 7 out of 19 of Trisha's stamps are from Australia, how many stamps did Auntie May give Trisha? Now the thing to realize for part B, okay, let's write it here at the corner. The thing to realize for part B is that yes, Auntie May gave Trisha some Australian stamps, but she did not give, or she did not take away the China stamps, the Singapore stamps, and Malaysian stamps, which means that the China, Singapore, and Malaysia stamps remains the same. Okay, now I know that 7 out of 19 is for Australian stamps, which means 7 units is for Australia. The rest will be for China, Singapore, and Malaysia. Okay, so the rest means 19 minus 7, that gives me an answer of 12 units. So 12 units is something that I can find very easily, because why? 12 units is the number of China stamps, Singapore stamps, and Malaysia stamps. I know that Singapore and Malaysia stamps is 1598 because that is initially that 17 units that we found. 1598 plus China stamps I have to find now. Okay, so how do I find? Okay, before this step you can insert another step to find the number of China stamps, which is 7. Okay, 7 multiplied by, initially we had 94 for 1 unit. So China stamps will be 7 times 94, 658. I add that to the Singapore and the Malaysia stamps. I'll get an answer of 2256 stamps. So these 2256 stamps represents 12 units, so I can find what is the value of 1 unit now. So again, after the word units, please write equal. Okay, this should not be arrows, it should be equal signs. 2256 divided by 12, 188. Okay, and then I can find the new number of Australian stamps, which is 7 units. 188 times 7, which is 1316. And then I can take 1316 and subtract off 376, which is the before number of Australian stamps. 1316 minus 376, that will give me an answer of 940 stamps. So Auntie May gave Trisha 940 Australian stamps. Okay, so the way to approach this question is to realize that it is actually a fractions question, and the best way is to make denominators the same so that I can give the different countries their respective number of units for their stamps. Okay, and then I can use units to help me solve this problem. Okay, so yes, that's how we approach these fraction types problem sums.